Hello friends and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Joy and today in this lecture we will discuss about the H1N1 influenza outbreak. Coming to the current affair, in a short span the number of influenza A, that is H1N1 cases, and the deaths reported from India has increased. So in this context it is very important to understand what is H1N1 influenza outbreak and what are the concerns with regard to H1N1. And what is the status in India, what are the challenges, what are the government actions, and what are the measures to be required. So before we begin, this is our channel StudyIQ and we are providing various pen drive courses for many competitive examinations including SSC bank courses, UPSC optionals, SSC JEE courses, teaching examinations, railway examinations, defense examinations, RBI grade B, NABARD grade A, UGC NET, UPSC Civil Services Examination, CLAT exams, state PSCs, and also for various professional courses. You can visit our website www.studyiq.com for more details, or you can call to any of these numbers for more information. Now coming back to our topic, that is H1N1 influenza outbreak. So let us first understand what are the concerns of H1N1. H1N1 virus is a subtype of influenza A virus, and influenza A virus is the most common cause of human influenza, or what we call flu. And the influenza viruses infect the cells in the nose, throat and the lungs. So this virus enters a person's body when he or she inhales contaminated droplets or transfer live virus from a contaminated surface to the eyes, nose or through mouth. So basically it starts with inhalation of contaminated virus or droplets. So there are various complications associated with influenza. So the complications can be worsening of chronic conditions like heart disease or asthma. It can lead to pneumonia, neurological signs and symptoms ranging from confusion, respiratory diseases or respiratory difficulties or respiratory failure, etc. So there are many complications associated with the influenza. And H1N1 flu is also called swine flu. And this is called swine flu because in the past the people who had this H1N1 flu had direct contact with the pigs. And that is the reason it is also called as swine flu. And from 2009 till 2010, the World Health Organization, the WHO, declared the new strain of swine origin H1N1 as pandemic. So what is meant by pandemic? It means that this affects a large area of the population. So it means that this disease would spread across a large region covering a huge population. So these are the concerns. Now coming to the status of H1N1 in India. The H1N1 virus had caused the pandemic in 2009 in India. It means that it affected a large area and a huge population in India in the year 2009. And since 2009, it has become a seasonal flu strain globally, including in India, which has caused deaths. Now coming to the recent case in India. Recently, it was found that within a short span of 55 days, the number of influenza A, that is H1N1 cases reported in India was 14,803. And out of it, around 448 deaths were reported. So this is very alarming. So this has happened in a short span of 55 days. And Rajasthan and Gujarat are the most vulnerable states. And these states have reported the highest number of deaths. In Rajasthan, around 137 deaths are reported, and in Gujarat, around 88 deaths are reported. In Delhi, 7 deaths are reported. Now, what makes Delhi different from Gujarat is the case with number of deaths. In Gujarat and also in Delhi, the number of cases reported who were affected by the influenza were same. But the deaths reported in Delhi and Gujarat are different. In Gujarat, 88 deaths reported. In Delhi, 7 deaths reported. This is because of the treatment or the medical facilities that are available in the National Capital Territory. So, this is one thing you must note here. Now, if we compare this with 2018, that is last year, the whole number of cases recorded in 2018 was 14,992. So this year also the number of cases are very similar. Now it is 14,803. Now coming to the number of deaths, in 2018 the number of deaths reported were 1,103, but now in 2019 till the end of February it is almost the half, that is 448. Now there is a shortcoming here, that is the state of West Bengal has not reported the data to the Integrated Disease Surveillance Program or the IDSP. So without the data from West Bengal we cannot come to the correct figure on the number of reported cases and the number of deaths. Now coming to the government action, the Union Health Ministry had reviewed the preparedness and the action taken by different states in order to deal with the influenza cases. So this review was done at a time when the number of cases were 6,701 and deaths were 226. But after the review, the number of cases and the deaths have almost doubled. But we do not see any serious effort from the ministry or an additional effort to contain the spread of the influenza. Now secondly, the ministry has also issued a guidance regarding recommendations of certain vaccines for the healthcare workers, for children between the age of 6 months and 8 years, and also for the senior citizens above the age of 65 years. So these are considered to be the most vulnerable category. So they can be affected by the influenza very soon. So the ministry recommended certain vaccines for the most vulnerable category. So this was also another measure from the part of the government. But here one shortcoming was that the people with pre-existing chronic diseases like heart attacks or heart diseases, for whom the complication can be maximum, they were not included in the list of those who were vulnerable and for whom the vaccines were recommended by the ministry. Now in the beginning of the lecture, when we discussed about the complications of H1N1, we discussed that this can be worsening for any person with chronic conditions like asthma or heart diseases, because this can cause respiratory failure. So the most vulnerable category or the complications are maximum or the highest for the people with chronic diseases, but they were not included in the list of vulnerable people for whom the vaccination was recommended. So this was another serious shortcoming from the part of the ministry. Now let us understand what are the measures needed in order to address the H1N1 influenza. The H1N1 has become a seasonal flu virus in India. So it is very important that the vulnerable category like the healthcare workers, the children, the senior citizens, people with chronic diseases, etc. get vaccinated themselves. So for that, government should take measures and steps in order to create awareness among the most vulnerable category in order to get vaccinated. Now coming to the statistics, there is a sharp increase in the number of cases reported and also in the number of deaths reported. But the vaccine uptake is very low. This is because there is lesser awareness or information that is generated with regard to the seriousness or the complications of the influenza and also on the possible benefits of getting vaccinated. So the focus of the government should be more on prevention. So through vaccination, more focus can be given on prevention side. And once this case is reported, serious measures should be taken in order to cure the disease. Now we have seen the example of Delhi and Gujarat. The number of cases reported in Gujarat and Delhi was the same. But the number of deaths reported in Gujarat was 88, whereas in Delhi it was only 7. This is because of the facilities or the public healthcare facilities available in the National Capital Territory compared to Delhi. And this also points out to the fact that in the rural areas especially, the public health facilities are lesser compared to urban areas. So there should be measures from the part of the government to make the healthcare services inclusive, affordable and accessible. And also the awareness generation or the information generation should not be restricted towards vaccinating the vulnerable people, but it should also include awareness about adopting precautionary measures by the population like frequent hand washing, living in clean and healthy environments, proper sanitation, healthy practices, etc. So on the prevention side, government should focus on both vaccination as well as taking precautionary measures And on the curative side, government should focus on making the healthcare facilities available to the masses through inclusive policies and also making healthcare services affordable and accessible, and should ensure that the gap between the rural and urban population is narrowed down, and also the gap between rich and poor with regard to access to healthcare facilities is also narrowed down. You can find the PDF of this lecture on my Facebook page, and for any queries regarding your UPSC preparations, you can get in touch with me on my Facebook page, or you can email me at joyshi.studyiq@gmail.com. Thank you.